Yo, what is up guys, Anthony here. Welcome back to another video. And in this video, I want to show you how to use desire mining for hitting your first 1K a day, fully manual with no AI needed. And if you haven't heard the news, Sora, the video app or video creation tool, is actually shutting down. And it was a good reminder to me when I read this news that all these tools that we use for copywriting and creating ads and lazily copy pasting AI prompts without wanting to do any work and still wanting to make money, like ChatGPT, Claude, Gemini, we have no way of ensuring that these tools will be around forever. And so you better get used to and develop the skill set manually. Otherwise, if they do go, you're fucked. Now, who this video is for, this is for people who are testing desires for a product that can't break past a few sales per day. You have a product you know is killing it, but you're not. And you've done extensive research into the avatar. It feels like you know everything you need to know, but they still aren't buying. Now, recently, and really quick, in terms of hitting 1K a day, I don't know how many, I think it's hundreds of times now we've helped people. So shout out to Ahmed, who recently just joined 4 or 5 days ago. He's closing in on it on 1K a day. Shout out to Antonio, Malek, Daniel, Eduardo, Zaid, my boy, Nicholas Jr., Hedy, Sammy, Kale. We got literally hundreds of people have delivered on this exact result. So in case you're curious as to whether or not this will work, here you go. All right. Anyways, I recently started a new case study store, and I was having some issues in the desire testing phase that I recently overcame, and now we're well on our way to 1K a day. So I figured that I would make a quick video because I'm sure a lot of you guys are struggling on this as well. So here's the main problem, right? And this basically sums it up, where people who test a product for the first time, they're familiar with the strategy, they go to test desires, and they end up in this situation where they're really focused on finding 5 mass desires. So they say, these desires are good, but I can't find 5, and they still look for 5, or even worse, they come up with 5 that are kind of forced, and they test them anyways. And the problem is that most of you guys are focusing on quantity over quality. So finding 5 mass desires doesn't mean shit if they all suck. So this is an example of somebody who generated desires in our group using ChatGPT. And you can just kind of tell immediately by the way that they're phrased that these are written by AI. You've got the dashes everywhere. And the problem with focusing on finding 5 mass desires is you end up in this situation where you have, more often than not, one desire that's been said 2 or 3 different ways. So like, I want to stop worrying about body odor. I want to smell fresh all over. Kind of the same thing. And so you're not actually testing 2 or 3 unique desires. You end up testing 2 maybe, and you have 5 desires total, but they're all just rehashed, rephrased, and reworded versions of the same thing. And so one highly urgent, widespread, and well-researched mass desire beats 5 lazily AI-generated, stupid, retarded ones. So, and the further problem is that most people think that if they just get a better AI prompt, they'll get better desires. But take it from one of our community members, Jordan. I hope that's how you pronounce your name. Probably said that wrong. But all you got to do is do better research, and you don't need more AI to be able to come up with these desires. Now, the best desires are the ones that you find through empathy. So if you imagine yourself being in the avatar's shoes, how would this problem make you feel? And why would you ultimately want to overcome this problem? Because remember, a desire is just the thing that people want, that they can't have because of the problem. So if we think about the product that you sell, the product that you sell solves a problem. The reason why people want to solve that problem is because they want something at the end of that solution, right? If somebody has back pain, they want to get rid of back pain so that they can. And then whatever you fill in the blank there, that is the desire. So the basic question then, if you want to find high quality desires that will scale, is what do these people, my avatar, ultimately want that they can't have because of this problem? So you almost want to think of it as desire is the thing that they actually want. Problem is what gets in the way of it, okay? And you also, when you're finding desires, want to think in terms of life outcomes, because you have to be careful when selecting desires. And this is something that Schwartz warns us about in Breakthrough Advertising. But they can't be too vague, because otherwise you end up with something that the avatar is not able to actually visualize in their brain, and they can't visualize the actual transformation and outcome in their mind. So if you just have a desire that's like, I want to feel confident, it's a vague feeling that hasn't been crystallized. And so somebody thinking about, when somebody thinks they want to feel confident, they're not just thinking about they want to feel confident in a vacuum. They're usually tying that to a specific outcome or a specific experience. For example, for a lot of guys, who want to feel more confident. Why is that? They want to be able to get more matches on dating apps. They want to be able to not feel so insecure when they look into a girl's eyes. Those are the specific things, specific contexts that these people want to actually achieve. And so those are the things that we want to try and market to. But then it's also a bit of a balancing act as well, because you can't be too specific, because then you risk losing the mass part of the mass desire. So you can't have something that's overly verbose, overly specific, because the whole point of a mass desire is that it's the public spread of private wants. It's something that millions of people individually privately want, and millions of people are not going to want some super specific, overly verbose, over the top thing. So how do you find these desires? Is you dig into the research, and you're naturally going to find desires pop up if you pay close attention to what people are saying. Now, you're not going to find people just saying, I have a mass desire of, I want to feel more confident, or I want to be able to get rid of my back pain so I can spend. You're not going to get these super literal expressions of a desire. You have to read between the lines. So that's what we're going to do now, and find some and show you basically how I would do it right now. So we're going to be doing a quick example with a few different forums, assuming that we're selling to an avatar of postpartum women who want to lose weight. And what I would do is open up a quick Google document, and all we're going to do is go through these forums, read them, and I'm going to show you how I would read between the lines to be able to crystallize these desires and find some that I would actually test for a product that's, let's say it's a weight loss supplement, or a really good product idea is a detox tea. If you guys have seen those like weight loss teas, those are crushing right now as well. So this is a person in our avatar group, in our niche, creating this forum. Since the birth of my daughter, I was incredibly worried about sagging skin. When I wasn't back to normal after maybe 4 months, I started to feel defeated, started giving away my favorite pieces of clothing I was confident I could never wear again. And all I'm going to do is write down any feelings or behaviors that are exhibited. And there's no like perfect way to do this. You can literally just put it into a bulleted list like this. And all we're doing is we're paying attention to feelings. How does the problem make them feel? And behaviors. What is the problem making them do? Because somewhere it's a combination of feeling and behavior where you're going to get the actual life circumstance that somebody wants to achieve. Because all you have to do is invert that. So if somebody feels defeated and starts giving away their clothes because they lack confidence, we just invert that, and eventually you'll get the desire. What do they want? They want to be able to fit into their clothes properly, feel confident in their skin. And so that's basically what I would do. We can keep going on with this. Minus some stretch marks. I'm biting myself in the ass for the pretty clothes I donated. I should have given my body a fair chance. Let's see. Okay, I think we've gotten everything that we can from this. Let's go to another one. This isn't even the same. It's not postpartum, but we're just looking at how other people with lower belly fat feel. Let's see. I like to wear cute outfits and crop shirts. I can't do that when I look 4 months pregnant all the time. Okay. That is great. Obviously, not great for her, but great for us if we're selling this product. Let's go back. I find myself wearing baggy clothes every day. I want to be able to wear a swimsuit this summer. I wish I could embrace it like people keep telling me, but I don't recognize myself. Okay. So all we're doing is just recon. We're just trying to collect as much information on how the problem makes people feel. And you'll see very quickly how the desires just naturally emerge. Okay. Anyways, I never really had issues with my weight. Fast forward. I don't exercise. I had my son 4 years ago. I can't keep using I had my baby as an excuse. Let's see. Yeah, I don't think there's anything in this one. Okay, because again, we're focused on feelings and behaviors, and we don't really see anything feeling-based that we can really use, so we just close that out. How do you effectively get rid of the mind twitch after kids? I'm not expecting abs or anything crazy. I just want to feel normal in clothes again. Okay, perfect. Boom. Okay, so just in the span of what, 2 minutes, 3 minutes, we've collected high quality information and evidence on how this problem, and let's just say the problem, just so we have a frame of reference for this, lower belly fat or just midsection fat. Muffin top is another term that I remembered pertains to this particular section of fat on the body. Okay, so let's say this is the problem that we're solving. Let's say we sell a product is going to be a weight loss tea. If somebody can source this, let me know. Would love to get into that industry. Or just any, fat burner. Problem, product, and we'll say avatar equals postpartum women. We could also look at like endo women. I don't even know what that is, but endo belly. Maybe, I mean, there's 142,000 fucking people in here, so probably a very sizable avatar. All right, anyways, let's just imagine for the sake of this video, these are our problem, product, and avatar. So here's the research that we've done into how this problem makes people feel and how consequently they're behaving. So when I wasn't back to normal after maybe 4 months, I started to feel defeated. She's giving away her favorite pieces of clothing because she's confident I can never wear them again. They previously liked to wear outfits. They can't do that, or they feel like they can't do that now because they lack the confidence. Wearing baggy clothes every day. So what else do we know from somebody who's wearing baggy clothes every day, right? If somebody's wearing baggy clothes every day, they are, let's put this here. If they're wearing baggy clothes every day, they're hiding their body, ashamed to show their body, probably embarrassed to be out in public, right? And these are all things that we're just inferring by having empathy. Like if you wear baggy clothes, I mean, I used to be overweight significantly. I would wear shirts that were slightly oversized, or I would avoid wearing super tight shirts because they would hug my chest and stomach area and make it sort of bulge out. And I knew that would happen. And so I avoided that because I obviously didn't want to look like that in public. So I know that these people are probably hiding their body, ashamed to show it, embarrassed to be out in public. And these are not things that I need AI to tell me. I can just infer based on the statements how I would feel if I was in a similar situation, or I can reflect back on if I've ever been in a similar situation, how have I felt and what have I wanted. So this person, I want to be able to wear a swimsuit this summer. Yep, that's amazing because I wish I could just embrace it like people keep telling me, but I look in the mirror and I don't recognize myself. I just want to feel normal and close again. Okay, cool. So we have a bunch of research, and from this we can start to crystallize an actual desire. Now, as I mentioned earlier, we have to be careful because if we have a broad desire and we just do something like, I want to feel more confident, this is great. A lot of people do want to feel more confident, but we can't in our copy visualize feeling more confident to our avatar, right? If somebody's visualizing feeling more confident, that's not what's going to get them to buy. What is going to get them to buy is if we can visualize for them being able to wear a swimsuit in the summer and feel confident and just feel amazing in front of all these people. Or not having to wear baggy clothes in the mall or when you go out to lunch or dinner. Or finally fitting into your pre-pregnancy clothes. These are actual life circumstances and outcomes that people want to achieve, that if we communicate in the copy, they'll be able to visualize. And that's what's actually going to get them to buy, not just something super broad like feeling more confident. And we also don't want to go into too specific mass desire, which would be something like, I want to be able to have control, like be the kind of person who has control over their appearance and feels amazing about the clothes, not some fatty. So this is a too specific mass desire, which is where I would say AI tends to lean more on the side of. And so you want something right in the sweet spot. You don't want something that's too broad or too specific. And that would be something, I'm going to call it ideal mass desire. Based on everything that we've read, it would be something like, I want to be able to feel attractive in my clothes again. Something like that, right? Because it's a specific life circumstance and life outcome that somebody wants to achieve, right? They want to feel more attractive in their clothes again. They want to be able to put on their clothes in the morning, get dressed, go into a room, feel all the eyes on them, or, potentially like feel like their husbands, have that attractiveness or are attracted to them again. Okay. So I think I had an example in here as well. Yeah. I want to feel attractive in my clothes again. So again, don't go too broad. Don't go too specific. You want something right in the middle. And listen, when you're doing mass desires, don't force it, right? Don't try and force like, oh, I need to find 4 more on top of this. Like, no, do the research and think about, okay, if somebody wants to feel normal in their clothes again, what else could this person want? Okay, well, if this person wants to feel normal in their clothes again, it's probably because they're hiding their body, they're ashamed, they feel embarrassed, they don't like the way they look. What are other things that people would want if they didn't like the way that they looked, right? They would probably want to feel more attractive to their partner, or feel more attracted to their, we could say feel more attractive. Maybe they're like divorced to their dating prospects. They could want to fit into a bikini again for their vacation. These are all like very simple and like honestly not super well developed examples, but this is basically how you find desires, guys. You don't need the research to just like spit out perfect, I want this, or I need to be able to do this. Just read the research. Imagine what it would be like to be somebody who has to wear baggy clothes every day, hiding your body and ashamed every day. And then what would you want, right? Or you can perform this with your own self. Like if you're in the market for a dropshipping course, what are all the reasons why you want to buy a dropshipping course? Okay, well, I want to buy a dropshipping course because dropshipping course, let's say problem is I have no money. Okay, why do you want to make more money? What are all the reasons? Well, I want to escape my 9 to 5. I want to provide for my family. I want to prove my parents wrong. Maybe your parents are like doubting you, which by the way, if they are, fuck them. You can do this. So it's the same thing with a dropshipping course and having this problem. All you got to do is imagine like, okay, if somebody has no money, right? How would this make them feel? What would they want, right? And eventually you're going to get to 3 to 5 high quality desires. And if you can't think of 5, don't force it, right? You can do desire. It's not like the fucking desire testing campaign is going to fucking break because you only have 3 or 5 desires. Or if you only have 2 desires instead of 5. It's like, I don't know why people always just get so fucking hung up on the wrong shit. It's like test quality desires. Who gives a fuck about the quantity? And you'll be good. All right. So guys, that is going to do it for this video. Hope you guys enjoyed the content. As always, if you did, drop a comment. Let me know in the comments below. Let me know also in the comments what kinds of content you guys want to see next. We got tons of people in the group killing it as of late. And I'm actually getting a lot of video ideas from the community as well. So let me know in the comments what problems you're currently struggling with. That way I can make a video on those topics and help you guys out so you can get out of that and start getting results. So yeah, that's going to do it for this video. Hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.